Welcome to Board of Health Program Policy Appeals Committee for December 6, 2023. I'm going to request our clerk, Ms. Fisher, to call the roll call, please.
Commissioner Matthew,
I am here physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Commissioner Baker,
I'm here too.
Commissioner Leininger.
You're physically. Right.
Thank you for that, Ms. Fisher. Next on the agenda, approval of the agenda, I am sure you had the opportunity. Ms. Fisher has sent it to us early to look at if any additions or deletions.
I would move to approve the agenda as presented. I guess I'll second it.
Thank you very much. We have Commissioner Leininger move the motion to approve the agenda, and our wonderful Commissioner from St. Joseph, Mr. Baker, seconded it. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. We have an agenda. And next is public comment. I think there is a crowd.
No public today.
They're just beating down the doors to provide us comment.
No public comments. We can proceed further. Number 3, new business. Board of Health bylaw.
It's that
Ms.
time of the year
Barnes?
when you might want to take a look at these and make or propose changes. You always need to propose those and then wait a period of time before implementation. So we brought it to you today to see if you had any thoughts about changes.
Do you or our staff have any?
No proposed changes from the staff this year.
Well, I have a question. Why is Article 10 part of our bylaw?
Very good question.
It's always been in there.
Because we have a separate document,
The intergovernmental agreement.
the intergovernmental agreement, that deals with that.
Yeah.
Our bylaws are supposed to be about how we function,
Right.
not how the counties respond to us. That's covered in the intergovernmental agreement.
Sure.
And again, it's something that you got reading this, I was reading that agreement for a little bit on some things, and it's like,
Probably was placed in the bylaws before there was an intergovernmental agreement. That's just never been removed.
There's always been an intergovernmental agreement.
and the other thing, and if it's gonna be in the bylaws, it should be before the amendment item. The option to amend should always be the last item of the bylaws, so. But I would propose that we remove that, and I forget from the intergovernmental agreement if that has in it on the,
Time frame for payments.
yeah.
How am I gonna find this, Teresa?
Control F.
Yeah.
No.
Go
Yeah,
on the website.
So,
the
oh,
intergovernmental agreements on the website.
Is
I
it
was
in the
looking-
Board of Health page?
I was looking in
Thank-
the
Maybe it's not.
synergy.
That's- I think it should be on the resource page.
No, it's not.
So in order to save time, why don't we bring forward to the full board and recommend that after a little more research, Article 10 eliminate as you have proposed.
We won't be able to bring this to the December board meeting. And we can talk about it at the December board meeting, but it cannot be approved at the December board meeting. Because amendments to the bylaws, according to Article 9, must be presented at least 10 days prior to the meeting.
Exhibit 1B1.
Well, we just circle back to after the fence.
We found out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Responsibility under.
Or if there's any, if you guys saw anything else on there. I will say that, talk about membership here, the joint operating agreement does talk about membership as well. I mentioned that Commissioner Matthew because Commissioner, Couch was indicating, I guess, at the finance committee that he may not be on the Board of Health next year. And I would remind Branch County and St. Joe County that according to the joint operating agreement, appointments to the Board of Health are for 2 years.
And thanks for reminding, I appreciate it.
And that's in the joint operating agreement between the 3 counties. So when when we were elected to new terms, in 2022, in January of 2023, when we had our organizational meetings at our county commission level, those committee appointments, at least for the Board of Health, could have been for a 2-year period, because that would comply with the operating agreement that we have entered into.
Unless that commissioner decided to back up, that is his. Or,
Right, yeah, there is the opportunity for vacancies there, but right, it should be, planned to be a 2-year appointment. And again, that's in the operating agreement, and that, historically had coincided with the terms of office of county commissioner.
So next election cycle, it's a 4-year term.
So starting in 2025, it's a question of, do we need to, consider presenting to our 3 counties changes to that joint operating agreement regarding that. The other question is, starting in 2025, when we look at officers here at the Board of Health, we currently serve a 1-year term in an office. Again, a question of with going to, in the future, going to 4-year elected commissioner terms, do we consider changing, Article 4 officers?
Resources page, and then look at the plan of work.
To be a 2-year term as opposed to
And then
just a
the
1-year
second
term.
one.
I said just a question, some consideration.
Yep, the one is.
Yeah, that will be
And
after 24 election.
Right,
Correct.
it would, but, correct, but we can,
We should maybe
any change that we make, we could make that.
We could make it now technically because next year we're gonna fall into that election cycle.
Well, we would, any change you make would be effective after, so let's say in January, we're going to meet and the first thing we're going to do is elect new
Right.
officers. Okay, then if at that meeting we pass amendments to the bylaws, it would be, take effect after that election already. So, that officer was elected for a 1-year term.
Right.
So it's just something to consider and think about as we move into 4-year terms
Did you
as
look
county
at,
commissioners.
did you take a look at the amendment to that document? What the, because, this was signed by the governor at the time.
The only, okay, I have it from our clerk's office, the joint operating agreement that was entered into November 13th. No, November 13th of 2012.
That's the one.
Okay, so it does say, the agreement may be amended only by the mutual agreement of participating counties pursuant to resolution authorized by each of the county boards of commissioners and entered in writing and approved as may be required by the Urban Cooperation Act and the Public Health Code.
Yeah. But I guess what I was really looking at is the finance part. Does the finance part of that say
The 15th of January, April, July,
the,
October.
right, the payments from the counties will be made on this date?
But that would be, I mean, that would, I would think that
It
would
doesn't.
affect it more than our bylaws.
Right, yeah, that's why I say.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
me,
just because we have the 15th here, that's not the intercounty agreement we have with counties.
right, and to me, this should be stricken from our bylaws,
Correct.
the Article 10.
And you're saying we should add the
We should-
15th of January, April,
We
July,
should
and
add,
October.
we should
to
add
the
that
intercounty
to
agreement.
the intercounty agreement.
I agree with you.
Okay.
If we can do that legally.
Why don't you make a
I
motion?
mean, it's, every
propose?
board of commissioners is gonna have.
Is gonna have to
approve
do that. Now, here again, understand that
They're directly on the.
whenever we look at changing something in that intercounty agreement, one county may say, well, I wanna change this as well, or I wanna change this, or I wanna change this. So we have to, if we as the Board of Health ask for that change on the intercounty agreement, so we can, we have to go back to our boards and say, no, we're gonna keep this limited in focus to this. If you want us to look at something else, tell us, we'll take that back to the Board of Health, we'll talk about it at the Board of Health, get that consensus there, and then bring that back.
Like my board really cares.
You're
So-
right, though. I mean, once you open something up.
Pandora's box.
Mhm.
Right. Yes. So,
But I mean, we're getting paid them days anyway, right? We're getting paid on those days by the 15th.
Yeah. no, it varies from
It's
county to
really-
county.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we sometimes have to call counties and tell them that they need to pay us.
You
We've
know,
not been historically great at doing that.
and
But
so, Mr. Chair, I move that we propose to the full board that we remove Article 10
Yes.
from the Board of Health bylaw.
Not adding anything?
Not adding anything to the bylaw, just taking that from the bylaws.
11-9 article for that.
All right.
Are you looking for a second? I'll second it.
Commissioner Leininger made the motion that we eliminate Article 10 from the appropriations and seconded by Commissioner Baker. Bring this forward to the full board at the next meeting, correct?
Correct.
Thank
yeah,
you.
so it would have to be the January.
Correct.
Right, it'll be at the January Board of Health meeting.
Thank you. And
For Article 9.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The item will be forwarded to the entire board in January.
Now, before we,
Yes.
now, as far as, we haven't looked at the amendment option to the, it can be amended, but what is the process for that?
It has to be
That's-
submitted in writing within 10 days prior to the meeting.
No, I'm talking, the amendment to the joint operating agreement.
Oh, okay.
That's the part I read. So
Yeah,
mutual agreement, resolution, each county board of
Okay.
commissioners.
so, Teresa, payments from the county. How, do we receive checks or do we receive ACH payments?
I'm not sure because they're paying that directly to Branch County Treasurer's Office. So it's not coming here for us to send to the county. They're coming right into Branch County.
Okay.
I would imagine electrical or electronic.
You would be surprised.
We'll check with Andy on the amendment part. I'm not sure I don't know anything about the Urban Cooperation Act of 1967. I mean, I can find it here online, but I think just, yeah, so we have an appointment, so we can just ask.
Are you
Yeah.
satisfied?
I think
John?
with the bylaws, right, I think we need to, but like I said, I think we need to, cause I don't see that spelled out as far as the payment in that, you know, when those payments will come from the county in the in that interoperational agreement. I think we need to specify that in there and specify that those payments should come by ACH transaction to the
Can,
Branch County
Ms.
Treasurer.
Fisher can take care of that research for, I appreciate.
Yeah, and again, it's something that I think we want to preview that language and then take that back to our individual county boards.
Did you to also, while you're addressing this document, potentially looking at the terms, as you mentioned before, terms of office?
Well, terms of office, you know, maybe that's something that we want to talk about at,
Like next week.
you
We'll
know,
sit around.
and discuss it at the, full board meeting.
I think it's great. Isn't it?
But it won't be effective until,
But, you know, again, if we, the interoperational agreement has to be agreed to by all four or all three counties. And we can write in there that effective January 1st, 2025, you know. The terms of office is in the bylaws, not in the interoperational agreement,
Correct.
okay? Again, if we want to consider changing the bylaws, you know, we can do that 10 days after it's provided to all board members.
Hmm.
So we can, you know, maybe have some more discussion about that at the full Board of Health meeting, think about it ourselves. Should that be for a 2-year term starting in 25, you know,
Mhm.
wish you good luck.
So would you like me to add that to the December board meeting?
I would think
Agenda?
that'd be a great idea.
yeah, put that underneath, you know, new business, the discussion item.
Thank you for bringing that to.
Or we can, or Mr. Matthew can talk about it in the, when he talked about the program policy and appeal committee meeting, that
Right.
one of the discussions we had was, you know, going forward with the change to Michigan statute in terms of county commissioner length of office time. Do we look at going back to the counties and say, hey, those appointments should be for 4 years as opposed to 2 years? Or do we within the Board of Health say that term of office should be for 2 years as opposed to 1 year?
That's good because Tom is leaving, so you can have it 2 years. Right, thank you for that. Thank you,
Well-
Commissioner.
Now talks about 2-year terms. But this talks about. the
Well,
officer
the officers are what called out as 1-year terms in the bylaw,
on this. Yeah.
right? Yeah, the interoperational agreement, the 2-year term of service under Board of Health.
You know, I've forgotten about that, but you know, usually people are on for 2 years. If they get here, they stay. But not always.
You know, it does say that there is the opportunity for a, you know, for a county to remove somebody from the appointment and to replace them. You know, if somebody, you know, it resigns from county commissioner, their position on the Board of Health vacates. Filson County, we take the approach that we're going to appoint the replacement through the unexpired term of that member that was, you know, that was serving, so, but yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. May I proceed? Next is 3B, 2024 holiday schedule. I'm going to invite our Board of Health officer, Ms. Burns.
So the holiday schedule follows the personnel policies. And the personnel policies indicates that there are 12 observed days. So those are listed there for you at the top of the page. Juneteenth continues to be something that comes up. We're kind of curious if any of the counties have adopted that as a holiday.
Not paid.
Okay, so they can take it, but it's an unpaid day. Does that mean they have the option to work or they don't?
I'm not looking, I'm pretty sure they have the option for it.
Okay. It's not a holiday in Hillsdale.
It is.
It
Yeah,
is?
don't, yeah,
Okay.
I was against it.
Okay.
Well, that's the best I could get.
So is it for everyone or just the court staff?
Everyone.
Okay,
Now, I'll never vote for Juneteenth to be a holiday. Because nobody wants today to be a holiday. Okay? Today should be the holiday, not Juneteenth. Not June 19th. Do you know why? 13th Amendment. What did the 13th Amendment do?
Mhm.
hi Don.
The 13th Amendment ended slavery.
Anywhere down here. is
When was
fine.
that ratified?
Today.
Correct.
I'm gonna go on a limb with that.
December 6th, 1865. Nobody want?
We don't wanna know history in this world. That's why we're tearing down monuments.
I didn't know that, you know, I didn't study history, so.
I can tell you December 7th, 1941. December 6th, Nelson.
So.
You know, December 5th. What happened yesterday? What was yesterday commemorative of? The 21st Amendment. What did the 21st Amendment do? Repealed prohibition.
Yeah, I got rid of prohibition. I should have known that one.
So are we satisfied with as the 2024 holidays that draft?
Commissioner, man, I'm
Well-
not done with my history lesson yet. Well, on the 4th of December.
The draft includes Juneteenth. So,
Uh,
What are we saying?
No, we just pointed out that it doesn't say that that's a holiday.
Well,
right? We
and-
just pointed out
You're
that
saying
the
the
state,
state sees
the
it.
state sees it as a holiday as well as that every other general election day.
And what would it be every, that doesn't
Even
make any
number of years
sense.
off.
okay, because in odd number years, you don't have countywide election for the most part. All right? Even numbered years, you have either presidential or
Right.
gubernatorial election. Yeah,
Polls are open till 8, right?
you can vote 9 days early now. Why
Right,
do you
so I don't
vote-
see a purpose for it because we just spent a pile of money at our county to get a polling station open for 9 days early.
So we have, as far as the agency is concerned, we are observing 12 days. The state
correct.
14. In my view is, I'm satisfied with giving employees 12 days right now. They're like our chairman mentioned, probably maybe someday we will address that particular issue. You have put it in the red here. Otherwise, I'm happy with the 12 days.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we're striking Juneteenth, but everything else on this list is.
The 12 days that we have
Yep.
in the personnel policy are the,
12 days.
will be the,
Any other discussion in reference to 2024 holiday schedule, please? If
I
not, may I
Request,
proceed?
request a motion to move this forward as
I
amended.
would, well, it's not amended though, is it?
It's in
Well-
the personal policy chairs.
But these dates
Okay.
need to be approved.
Don't they follow the personal policy?
They do.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable with it, I'm okay with it.
They're following personal policies. I don't think we need a motion.
Okay, I'm good with
All
it.
right, thank you,
I
thank
mean,
you
the
for
personnel
that.
policy has already been adopted and that,
I'm good with it then.
All right, thank you. I appreciate though your input.
other than. Okay, if you go to this list, New Year's Day should not be on there. That's 2025 holiday.
All right,
Good catch. Get him go. You're here mentally too today.
well, I can say though, they prepared correct, Mr. Chairman, because here only says 2024 holidays.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tom. May I proceed? Item 3C. 2024 Board of Health meeting schedule.
Yeah, there's a couple of things on here that we need to talk about, or at least consider, and one is the finance committee meetings, two of them fall on holidays. And then I would request, consideration of July 25th, one of 2 days, either, you continue to hold the meeting on that day, without me present, bring me in remotely, or we move the day.
Like every year?
Well, at least this year. At least this year.
That'll work. What
Um,
would you rather do?
well, I mean, it only affects me.
What would you
So,
rather? do?
if I'm here as your health officer, I would love to have that week off every year.
Okay, so what date do you want it on?
Where are you leaving for? I mean,
I
not my
just don't
business.
wanna have to come back from Oshkosh
Oh,
for that meeting.
we can move the meeting over
Unfortunately.
there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get to choose when they decide to do that event. But, you know, this next year is the last year he's in high school. The last summer, he's a high school
Let's
student.
just move the date.
Well, at least for this year, maybe.
Depends on when you move it to.
Have the meeting without me.
I mean, all right,
The directors are very capable. I could always just zoom in.
yeah,
Or you take a vacation like every other normal human being and don't worry about work. I mean,
Rusty, that doesn't work.
I'm aware.
So
I get
what
it.
do you
Trying.
suggest, Ms. Burns?
I am totally okay with you holding that meeting without me present.
Yes.
I can zoom in. I know I can find someplace in Oshkosh where I can get a signal and I could zoom in.
Okay, commissioners, what do you think?
That's fine.
I may have a wedding on the 27th, so
He's gonna be gone too. Oh,
we're not sure yet, but yeah, so. Right now, the more stable that calendar is, the better off I am.
Let's just leave it alone and plan on you
You-
zooming if
you
you
either
can. If
Zoom or
you
you-
can't, you don't.
you know?
Right.
nice of you to give me that grace. Thank you. I
You know,
appreciate
I'm sure you will have prepared a written report before you left, you know?
it. Yes, yes.
I mean, I
So-
show up on days we don't have meetings and don't when we do, so.
Any further comments about the schedule?
Ridiculous.
And I think I heard the finance committee talk that they're gonna move that June 15th or January 15th to what day?
It'll be the 12th, I believe. So it's the Friday before.
What about the 19th?
Same thing.
But-
Friday
Same
before-
thing.
Friday before.
And they were aware of this?
Yeah, they talked about that at the,
Yeah, so it'll be February
Doesn't mean I want it.
16th
I think next week.
and
that
January
was just on
12th.
Monday.
Last month.
And I'll make those changes before I bring this back to the full board on next week.
Okay, I'm going out. I just wanted to make sure that we get to,
Can we approve this on December if we change it?
Well, I mean,
we can
changed it.
change the Board of Health, I mean, we can change the posted meeting.
Okay.
We just need how many
Sure, we can
hours?
do that. 72.
18 hours in advance.
Well, we need, any such meeting needs to be posted 18 hours. The emergency meeting can be held without posting.
I didn't either.
You then have to, but you have to send proof as to why you held the emergency meeting to the county clerk's office or to be on file, so
I
yeah,
did not.
yeah, but
Any further comment about the schedule? Take a motion.
Thank you.
No need of the motion. Thank you. Thank you for that discussion regarding the Board of Health meeting schedule. We proceed to 3D, AAA Advisory Committee bylaws with all the red.
All the red.
if I may, Commissioner,
Please,
I want to go back to the bylaw. But just
Pardon me.
something,
pardon.
These bylaws? The
the Board of Health bylaw. Article 5 meeting.
Okay.
I just thought about this.
Section 1.
Section 5. I want a little more clarification here. Special meetings of the Board of Health or its committee may be held at any time upon the call of the chairperson. Is that the board chair or is that the committee chair?
Gotta be
I,
the board chair.
I think it is a board chair, not the.
But I don't serve on the finance committee.
You
I'm the
can-
board chair. How can I call a special meeting of the finance committee?
The finance committee have to come to you.
Do we
Call the
use
meeting.
the word chair anywhere else other than in chair and vice chair of the entire group?
I mean, cause we're advisory.
No, I think here, I think it means the chair of the board.
Special meetings of the Board of Health or its committees may be held at any time on call of the chairperson, assuming that is the, like you said, the board chair, not the subcommittees.
I think the board chair often, even though they're not in both committees, often is aware.
Well, yeah, well, as the chair, I am an ex-official member on all committees, whether
Right.
I'm serve on them or not. I mean, ex-official, so you don't vote, but yeah.
We'll let you in.
So I guess the procedure would be for myself, the chair of the committee to notify you and request. Call.
Again, you said the chair of the committee. That's the
Yeah,
chairperson.
well, just because we use that term, right?
Yeah.
But,
Before we go on to the next article, I would, back to the bylaws, I would move to amend the bylaws. And in section 5, in that second sentence, insert board in front of chairperson.
Five, four.
Second.
It's on page, next page, no. The board bylaw,
On page 3 of
3.
Page.
Right there, insert board.
So Commissioner Leininger made the motion for Article 5 under meetings, Section 5. Special meetings of the Board of Health or its committee may be held at any time upon call of the, add the board, the entire board chairperson by providing just purpose and giving at least 18 hours notice. Seconded by Commissioner from St. Joseph, Mr. Baker. Those in favor, we need a roll call or? No. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Now all of us are happy. May I proceed? Thank you, Ms. Sutter. AAA Advisory Committee bylaws.
Good morning.
Good
So
morning.
this summer, as well as throughout the last probably close to 2 years now, the state has been looking at various service standards as well as area agency and operating standards. And they have a very specific standard review committee process. And the advisory council operating standard for area agencies was up this summer. I did volunteer to be a part of that committee. So I did attend meetings and heard statewide discussion from various individuals pertaining to the former, what are now the formal bylaws, and then how committees across the state function. So the process included and was most recently adopted by the commission late November, the new standard which had a few monumental changes.
The first being the Open Meetings Act stipulation was removed. Advisory councils don't make funding decisions. They don't act officially. They are more advocates and advisors to the area agency staff and to the board, then the board of policy board. It's called the Board of Health. And so that was actually very quickly discussed and removed because the area agencies and the individuals that participated felt very strongly that it didn't need to be a part of the standard. Further, they discussed composition and the membership of the advisory council, and in order to reflect federal law and public acts in the state of Michigan, they included language to include certain representatives in different sectors, as well as from different minority and ethnic groups, income levels, different protected, what we would call protected classes in the Civil Rights Act, to be more inclusive and more cognizant of our communities and offer them the opportunity to participate as well. So the language that I included comes right out of the standard, and it's sort of cited in the matter of the narrative. So those were the two main changes to reflect the current advisory council stance that the commission passed at the end of November. The other huge change was the fact that because of what we learned throughout the COVID pandemic, gaining input and having participation in meetings was very difficult. So we were allowed, and the policy was waived in order to meet in a hybrid approach or virtually. So the standard reflects the mode of the meeting can be either in person, virtually, or by telephone or in a hybrid.
Well, that's directly reflects that you're not in the Open Meetings Act, doesn't apply.
Correct. So therefore, the open
Doesn't apply in
meetings.
St. Joe County anyway.
So, when you're talking about planning and service areas, for example, as large as the Upper Peninsula, to get that broad brush of diverse and the span of the miles in the Upper Peninsula, they will have much better participation if they can offer a meeting virtually or in a hybrid approach, and gain feedback from all parts of their planning and service area. And that is the main goal of this advisory committee. We're to talk about local needs, talk about this plan that we put together every year, and the multi-year plan, which covers 3 years currently, to make sure that we're addressing local needs and developing programs that meet local needs. And so I've amended the bylaws. They were presented to the full committee yesterday, had really good discussion. The participants of that meeting didn't have any changes for your consideration, but understand that the Program Policy and Appeals Committee was going to review the draft today, and are looking forward to recruiting new members. We're working on that and have a strategy in development to begin the new year with a sort of a broad brush attempt to attract more members, because we are scant 2 members in St. Joe County, and 3 in St. Joe County and 2 in Branch. So we'd like to have more volunteers and community leaders as part of that, or caregivers, or whoever would like to participate. So that's sort of the overview and sort of where we got to for today. The committee knew that these standards were being reviewed. We talked about it for a few months now, and so it was anticipated that these changes would be.
Gentlemen, any comments?
cleared up every comment, everyone that I needed without the Open Meetings Act and being allowed to zoom in, so if you're not applying to the Open Meetings Act, then you can do what you want, so.
I will move to recommend adoption to the full board.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Now, I will not vote on this at the full board because underneath the membership guidelines. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation that considers them not for the color of their skin, but for the content of their character.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but when the federal government and the state government jam down your throat that you're going to have to look at color of skin and social economic condition first before you consider anything else, that is not fulfilling the dream of Martin Luther King. So I cannot support that language whatsoever. Now, the advisory council is there to give advice for serving people that the AAA addresses. Understand that. The AAA helps caregivers as well. Understand that. And I'll take this approach at the Wellwise board as well. This other stuff should be thrown out. It's discriminatory in practice, and I will not stand or vote for it. But I'll let the full board make the decision.
Thank you, Commissioner Leininger, for your kind words. However, I personally believe that there may be consequences if, as a full board, if we do not approve certain things you have not mentioned, but you indicated. I do not know. We have to check in that finances may affect from state or federal funds. My concern, however, is,
I guess, well,
go ahead.
let's ask the question. If we don't approve that language in the membership, how does that affect the finances of the AAA?
I wouldn't be able to tell you that. It's a much larger decision than any or all of us present here today.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for, Commissioner. You have any- Okay, my concerns are, number one, I am for placing people according to those areas needed. And you have indicated branch has 2114. I would like to see that 8 people, what category they are when next week or whenever we meet. That way we know what area the people are representing. So all the communities will be representing in our AAA, even though what Commissioner has mentioned certain things. I understand that.
So to clarify, Commissioner
Yeah.
Matthew, you mean for the focal point representatives, who
Of,
are the existing members that fulfill that category?
correct.
Okay.
And where we need to be filled. There's certain numbers last night I looked at, they are not there. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, I agree it is electronically we want to meet, that is fine. Many of us in Branch, Hillsdale and St. Joseph, those of us who are over 29 goes to Florida or Arizona, 6 months, I understand that. But I wonder why we have to change this. Why don't we apply whatever we are going through the board, our bylaws, same as they can call in by electronically, but they have no power for voting or any discussion.
Well,
Because they're not a voting board.
because they are not a body subject to the Open Meetings Act now. Okay, so that portion I have no problem with. They're not subject to the OMA.
Yeah.
You know, I even questioned at Wellwise, which is the other AAA board that I serve on.
Yes.
Is the board subject to the OMA? you know, because we're a not-for-profit, we're a not-for-profit agency. We're not a governmental agency. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
They're handling
Our
government-
bylaws say that we're gonna comply with the OMA, but legally, and so they're doing some research, talking to council on that. Now, here we are a intergovernmental entity, so yes, we are subject to the OMA.
Circle back to the representatives of the board or their committee. To go where he's going, we're already sitting short in St. Joe County. Now we're gonna limit it to, we have to pick out of this pool of people.
Well, the language is intended to. It's not saying that, because perhaps your skin is this color or that color, we're going to look at you first. It is an intention to say that we want to be diverse, and our policy reflects and supports the fact that we would like to have diverse representation. You know, there's, for example, a Latvian community in Three Rivers. If a person from that community would like to be a part, they're able to make it, and we would like our committee to be diverse because they have a very specific, maybe set of beliefs that they would like to impact and say, but wait, don't forget about our community. We're a very small community, but we believe in this, and we like only people that wear purple shoes to come and take care of us, or what have, you know, those types of observances in policy reflect that we are open to all and would be interested in hearing the needs of every community represented in our planning and service area.
My concern is you have two applicants. Well, one checked this box that we need to make sure we address, but this other one's more qualified. Well, we're gonna take this one because he checks this box that says we have to address over the more qualified person.
There's no checkbox on the current citizen interest form that indicates any of
But you-
those.
But you're gonna have to add that. If you're gonna focus for that, you're gonna have to add that.
Haven't broached that subject yet and haven't thought about it. We just want to say that if they're interested, we would love for you to look at the bylaws, take a look at this, and this is what the committee is about.
I go ahead.
You know, the citizen interest form is definitely editable.
I think Commissioner Leininger is indicating the page 3, the top paragraph. I understand where is he getting at. We all understand. Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, you've already made the motion, correct?
I did. But again, I said, I'll send it to the full board. But you know where I'll stand next week, Thursday.
You are taking the day off, right?
I'm not, though.
All right, thank you for the lovely discussion, and thank you, Ms. Sutter, for your presentation. Commissioner,
Well, wait a minute, Commissioner.
Here. page 3.
Can I just move to recommend it? Can we just strike that paragraph? Or it may say, no, you have to have that, but
I don't know the legal implications.
I think the part that we are most hoping for is in Article 6.
the Open Meetings Act.
Yes. I think the other pieces were added to more accurately reflect updates made by the ACLS Bureau.
Why can't we just put that we support diversity
Instead of,
calling out all these different subgroups of people? I mean,
Is it a required, all this terminology? I do not know.
It is not required, but it is,
I mean, to minimize the
I mean,
boundary.
with-
I just wanted to reflect and based on some of the training that I've received on diversity, equity, and inclusion. If an organization is progressive in its approach, it's spelled out. And hopefully those individuals that might identify in those different areas would feel welcome to participate in services or in the implementation of an area plan that outlines how
I understand that, but I mean,
that's all.
we can't hit every subgroup, like you just said, we got the Latvian community that was out there in Long Lake, we didn't mention them in their subgroups, or are they feeling excluded, I mean. What subgroups are we including and not including in this deal?
In that focus. The other question I have is in that last paragraph. In the event that membership falls below 50% threshold for any reason.
Yeah, that is not new, it's just in a new place, that's why it's red and there.
Well,
That was
shouldn't that be up with the not less than 50% of the committee must be comprised of persons age 60 or older, and then continue with that next sentence?
It can be. We can move it wherever we'd like.
Can you read which one, thinking about eliminating, please?
No,
Not eliminating, just
Moving it.
Commissioner, this paragraph, that paragraph there is out of place. Because in the event of membership of what falls below the 50% threshold. Said that,
membership of the committee. It's in the committee section, the membership of the committee.
but it's referencing those age 60 and older, right?
I don't think it is, I think it's the committee as a whole.
It's
But the
50%
50% threshold is talked about
60.
60 and over.
But I think they're talking a 50% vacancy in the complete board. In that last paragraph.
But the threshold is talked about. Yeah, I don't,
If you'd like me to move it back under the sentence, under not less than 50% of the committee to be comprised of individuals age 60 or older, I can do that.
I think only one qualified here.
We continuously, well, we continuously recruit and we are always open to participate.
Everybody else 29 here. I'm the only older person.
I'm gonna hold Mr. Baker.
No, it's not there.
Are you 60?
No.
Wow. State, huh?
39. We went. to
Well,
school.
wait a minute. Let me see your hand. Your other arm.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Stay with the agenda, please.
I don't think it changes, in my personal opinion, I don't think it changes the intent of the statement, but if it makes more sense to be on the other page, we can certainly move
So,
there.
You want to reinstate
It's a
whatever the
different fitting where it sits.
motion, a new motion, and I have a 9:45 appointment. Yes. I will be here, no problem. Thank you.
Said we can, the motion is to recommend approval for the full board, but
With corrections.
with that move, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Further conversation, I suppose, at the Board of Health.
and I may work on a different language for a different paragraph for that.
Oh, well,
For discussion.
No,
no, Second.
I thought we already did that.
we did it.
So we just
Yes,
need to vote.
it's there. We just need to
Alright,
vote.
And the chair, thank you so much, and thank you, Ms. Sutter. Sorry to put you through all that red ink again. And the chair entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute, we need to vote on that motion to send to the full board.
I thought we did.
No, we need just.
Just need a vote.
Okay,
Just need to vote on it.
all right, we will vote again with all the red in. Commissioner Leininger made the motion to accept this with all those changes we indicated. Will be presented before the whole board and seconded by Commissioner Baker from the great county of St. Joseph.
All right, we lead the way in bacon.
And those in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn.
Or public comment? Sorry. Any public comment?
Don left, Don go.
Okay, now we accept. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, we got the motion to adjourn. We got a second?
Yeah.
All right. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned for another meeting, so
We will see you next week.
thank you.